How's it going, everyone? Justin Crumley here with another edition of CuJo's Corner. So, a couple things before I get into it. Making some changes to the podcast. For one, I'm probably going to start doing all my sports videos on the podcast, and I'm also going to try to change the subjects up a bit to kind of have more to talk about. I'm not going to do as much like breaking news or anything involving like my favorite teams or whatever specific. It could be the biggest story in sports going on, or it could be, like something local that I want to talk about. It could be literally anything. I think I'm just going to save it for the podcast, just so I can get more of these out to you guys. And honestly, I kind of find that a little bit easier. Now, that's not to say that I won't, before I go on, it's not to say that I won't do individual videos on certain topics. If I feel like strong enough about a subject that I feel like it warrants its own video, maybe I'll do it. Like, I don't want to completely close the door on it, but I want to get more of these podcasts out to you guys. I really enjoy doing these, just getting in front of the mic and kind of talking about random things, whatever I feel like chatting with you guys about. Get your opinion or opinions. The next thing I want to talk about is Creepypastathon, the last Creepypastathon, which I don't need to tell you guys has been not going as planned. That's on me. I'm gonna just take it on the chin. I was not prepared for this upcoming event. I'm not gonna roll through and make excuses, but I am going to keep my promise, and I am going to finish it. I have 2 more videos to make. I got something special planned for you guys for the last video. I'm not just going to do a standard review. I've decided I'm going to change things up a bit. But I'll save that for when the time comes. I'm hoping this weekend I'll finish the Creepypastathon videos. I got a lot of other videos I've been working on, a lot of other stuff going on in the background. So, but I just wanted to quickly mention that yes, I am going to finish it. In case anyone was wondering, don't worry. I am going to finish it, but I wanted to get another podcast out to you guys. I do have a number of things that I want to talk about. Some controversial, some not. Some news recent, some old here and there. Some topics a little bit broad, others, that are specific. But anyway, I won't tease you guys anymore. Let's just get right into into today's podcast. So, first thing I want to talk about is Michigan football. First and foremost, thank you guys for all the views on that last video. I really do appreciate it, and the comments were amazing. I really love when you guys comment. It's good. I love it. I love the kind of traffic on my video. I love having conversations with you guys about sports. So I'm going to try to be a little more level-headed because I think you guys respond to that a little bit better. But I do want to talk about Michigan football. So, season's not all over yet, and I'll explain why. If Michigan can win the rest of their games, the last 3 games against Penn State, Maryland, and Ohio State, there is a chance that they can get to the college football playoffs. And if they do that, if they win their next 3 and Ohio State beats Michigan State, Michigan will win the Big Ten East. They will play for a Big Ten title. That would be one of the boxes checked on the list for Harbaugh, and as well as a possible playoff berth. Because I honestly think if Michigan goes 11-1, they can make the playoffs. So here's the issue. It's not whether or not they can. Of course they can. The possibility is there. I just laid it out for you guys. All they got to do is win their next 3 and just hope that Michigan State loses to Ohio State or Maryland. I highly doubt they're going to lose to Maryland. They might lose to Penn State. But either way, Michigan's got to hope that Michigan State loses another game. And if Michigan can win their last 3, they at the very least are playing for a Big Ten title and possibly a playoff spot. So there it is again. I laid it out for you guys. So my concern doesn't come in on if they can or not. My concern is on will they. And to be honest, guys, I don't think they will. And I'm not going to hand you the same thing I did in the previous video. I'm not going to go over the record. I'm not going to go over the past years. I just quickly want to reference an interview that Jim Harbaugh did. I believe this was this morning. I'm not sure when this interview took place. But he's still talking about the bad officiating and the loss to Michigan State. I did not hear one word about Penn State. Now, guys, I'm not going to debate whether or not it was the officiating or not. We're not going to talk about that Michigan State game. It's over. It's done with. We're going to move on. I expect Harbaugh to be in the same mindset. Guys, to be honest, I think Jim Harbaugh should have pulled a Bill Belichick and just said, I'll take questions about Penn State. Nope, we're on to Penn State. Nope, I'm not answering any questions except for any questions about Penn State. Only about Penn State. I want Harbaugh's focus to be on Penn State. Now, as a fan, I do think Penn State is beatable. I think Michigan can win the game. Again, it's just a matter of will they. Now, they beat Indiana last Saturday, which is great. I didn't really see too much of it. I was hanging out with my buddy. We were playing cards. I saw bits of it here and there. I kind of figured they would beat Indiana. I wasn't too worried about that. I did watch the highlights, and, so I really can't tell you a whole lot, but they beat Indiana 29-7. That's great. Penn State is a whole nother beast. Penn State is legit. I don't have to tell you guys this. I just find it a little bit concerning as a Michigan fan that Jim Harbaugh is still bellyaching about the refs. Now, I guess, bellyaching is a bit of an unfair term. He was just talking this morning about how, the Big Ten has gotten back to me and said that the officiating, they did mess up, haha. To which I would say, okay, what does this accomplish? I don't even know if that's true. I don't know if the Big Ten's gotten back to him about that. So I'm not even going to go any further with that. I just want to know, what does it accomplish? They're not going to take that win back from Michigan State. You still couldn't stop Kenneth Walker. You still had no game plan. It literally solves nothing. You're holding on to a game that you should have forgot about a week and a half ago after it happened. Or maybe I'm getting my days wrong. Whatever. You should have forgot about it after you lost. Move on. You're on to Indiana. You beat Indiana. Great. We're on to Penn State. I just think as a Michigan fan, that should be Harbaugh's mindset. We're on to Penn State. We're going to talk about Penn State, and that's it. Focus is on Penn State. One game at a time. We don't look past. We don't look back. But that's the first question I'm going to throw at you guys, Michigan fans, fellow Michigan fans. I want to know: do you think Michigan will pull it off? That's the question I'm going to put. First question I'm going to put forward to you guys. Uh, do you think Michigan will pull it off? Do you think they'll somehow find a way to win these last 3 games? Michigan State, obviously we need them to lose one more game. Um, do you think that's going to happen? Do you think Michigan is going to redeem themselves from that horrible loss to Michigan State? Do you think Harbaugh is going to save his job? Because, guys, like I said, he wins these last 3 games, they go 11-1. There is a chance that not only are they playing for a Big Ten title, they're playing for a playoff spot. That would check off 2 of the boxes that I heavily leaned on in my previous video. But I want to know from you guys, do you think it's going to happen? Do you think I'm wrong? Because, like I said, I don't think it's going to happen. I still don't think they're going to beat Ohio State. However, that said, I do think Ohio State is beatable. I know I'm like talking out of both sides of my mouth here, but guys, honestly, do you think I'm wrong? Do you think they'll win these last 3 games, or do you think they're gonna blow it this Saturday against Penn State, or do you think they're gonna lose against Ohio State? Anyway, whatever you think, the question put forth is very simple. Do you think Michigan will win these last 3 games? There we go. All right. So, this is going to be a little controversial. I can already tell I'm going to get some... I'm going to rile some feathers on this next topic, but I feel the need to talk about it because I have some things to say. So, I'm sure everyone is familiar with the Aaron Rodgers situation. He lied about his vaccination status, is now under the unvaccinated protocol, and the earliest he'll be able to come back, I think, will be this Saturday. And this initially came as like a shock because we were all under the impression that he was vaccinated. In fact, there's a press conference of him even saying, when the question's put forth to him, is he vaccinated? He straight up says, "Yeah, I'm immunized." So he did an interview on the Pat McAfee show, and this is mostly what I want to talk about. Look, just up front, I just want to say this. I only just started listening to the Pat McAfee show not too long ago. And for the most part, it's a good show. I really like it. It's fun. It's very carefree. You could tell the guys genuinely do enjoy what they do. It seems like a fun thing. It really does. But this interview with Aaron Rodgers, if you can even call it that, I don't think it was too good myself. Aaron Rodgers, for almost 50 minutes, was allowed to just put all over the screen a lot of just stupid anti-vaxxer garbage and whining about, I think like the first thing he said in the interview was like, I'm in the crosshairs of the woke cancel culture, some shit like that. And there was just no pushback from Pat or AJ. Now, to be fair, they're not journalists, and I as far as I know, anyway, and they don't ever market themselves as such. So, for the most part, I can forgive it. I'm not gonna really hammer Pat McAfee or AJ because, like I said, I do like their show for the most part, and I don't want to come off as disrespectful to anyone. This is mostly about Rodgers. Now, him, I don't really care about disrespecting because after sitting through this interview, to be honest, guys, I don't have too much respect for the guy. I thought he, like I said, he sounded like a typical anti-vaxxer. He didn't seem to take any responsibility for himself or his actions, and just for the most part seemed to deflect and came up with a bunch of nonsense reasons to justify him not being honest about his vaccination status, which at the end of the day did kind of seem to be, I couldn't quite get like what the issue was. Like on one hand, they asked him about why. I think Pat actually did ask him like why wasn't he honest on that in that press conference, and he said, well, there was like a hate mob, went into that kind of stuff, like, and it's like, dude, you're kind of upfront admitting that you're not being honest. You're basically saying like, oh yeah, I was saying that just because I didn't want to get hate. That's just, dude, you're not being honest. And I thought this interview did not make him look good at all. Quite frankly, I thought it made him look really selfish. And I actually agree with Terry Bradshaw. I thought he was incredibly dishonest. He just seemed to whine about why he didn't get the vaccine. And look, I'm not going to tell you whether or not you should get it. I'm not going to push that, though it may seem like it. My problem with Aaron Rodgers comes in because he was not honest. He lied about his vaccination status. And it seemed like in the interview he was trying to go after this thing where he was like, the problem was is they were listing me as unvaccinated. I didn't like that. And it's like, you are unvaccinated though. What is the and the reason the NFL needed that was their protocols for vaccinated players is different from unvaccinated. And Rodgers said he was following the protocols and this and that. How many interviews did he do? I feel like I said that weird. Let me ask that again. How many interviews did he do without a mask on? I mean, it's obvious that he wasn't following the protocols. And then, it's like one minute he says he's doing that, the next he says he's doing this other health regimen, whatever. Look, I'm not going to get into whether or not it's effective or not. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to pretend to be. The fact of the matter is, the NFL, if you're going to try to argue that means you're vaccinated, no, it doesn't. The NFL did not recognize that method as, vaccinated or unvaccinated. So it didn't matter. But, I mean, like I said, Rodgers just came off as incredibly dishonest. He's just selfish. He just looked really bad. And look, again, I'm not judging him because he didn't get the vaccine. I'm just saying he didn't need to lie about it. I think he put the Packers in a bit of a bad spot. I think if he played that game on Sunday, they would have beat the Chiefs. Guys, with how competitive the NFC is, one game could make a huge difference for that one bye week. Because do remember in the playoffs, the extra wild card means only one team gets the bye. And with teams like the LA Rams, Arizona Cardinals, Tampa Bay Bucks, you have teams that are, Dallas also looks really good. You have teams that are going to compete for that bye, and Aaron Rodgers missing that game, I think, is incredibly crucial. So, to be honest, guys, if I were a Packers fan, I'd be pretty pissed about this. I would not be too. But as it stands, I'm not a Packers fan, and I'm not going to speak for them. So this next question is for all the Packers fans out there. What's your take on this whole Aaron Rodgers debacle? Do you agree with me? Do you think he's being selfish? What do you think's going to come out with all this? I mean, honestly, Packers fans, just go nuts. I'd like to get everyone's take on this one. You guys have heard what I think. I want to hear what you think. Also, Packers fans, how do you feel about him going forward this year? Do you think this whole thing is gonna affect the team chemistry when he comes back, or do you think it's just gonna be kind of a water under the bridge thing. They're not going to let it hold them back, and they're going to do what they usually do and win. Whatever you think, guys, throw it in the comment section below, and we're going to go ahead and move on to the next thing, which is about my favorite team. I did want to sneak a little bit of Patriots talk in there. So I wanted to talk about my personal season expectations for the New England Patriots. Now, to be honest, guys, off the top of my head, I don't think I did a video about my season expectations for this year. I don't think I wanted to make any bold predictions. I wasn't quite sure, honestly, what they were going to do. So it was more or less, I just kind of wanted to kind of wait and see how things would go. And I guess for me, it was about, like, what would I consider a successful season for the Pats? And I thought, okay, well, they went 7-9 last year with Cam, had a decent run game, had absolutely nothing for a pass game. The offense was a complete shit show, and yeah, so there's definitely a lot of improvements that needed to be made. Now, under Mac Jones, they honestly look like a way better team than last year. The beginning of the season, they looked a little bit, looked a little rough. Mac Jones had kind of one of those, hey rookie, welcome to the NFL kind of games against the New Orleans Saints, in which I think he had like 2 picks or something. He had multiple turnovers. It was just not a good game. But ever since, he has bounced back so well. And honestly, guys, I'm going to be real. Mac Jones was not the guy that I wanted them to draft. I was more in the Justin Fields kind of camp. But I'm glad I was wrong, because Mac Jones has more than broke my expectations. And honestly, as of right now, New England has kind of broke my expectations. As I said, I was kind of hoping, 8 or 9 wins. They can get over 500. I would honestly think, yeah, that's a successful season. Especially when they released Cam Newton and went to Mac Jones. I kind of thought, yeah, I'm not gonna get too crazy with my expectations. If they can just have like a comparable, like above 500, which I guess now is not possible. Well, actually, 500 is not possible. That's what I meant. So yeah, if they can keep it above 500, I would have considered that a successful season. And things got off to a bit of a rough start. They did start off 2-4, and as it stands now, they are 5-4, and they have a huge win over the LA Chargers. And one of those losses was against Dallas in overtime. Dallas, as of right now, is one of the better teams in the league. So for New England to go toe-to-toe with them and end up losing in overtime, I'm normally not a guy that's big on moral victories, but it was kind of a moral victory. And like I said, the huge win over the LA Chargers, who, in my opinion, are kind of breaking the expectations. Justin Herbert looks legit. Yeah, it was a big win. It was huge. It was definitely not a game I was expecting them to win, to be honest. Like I said, LA is one of the better teams in the league. Justin Herbert is one of the better quarterbacks, and New England contained them pretty well. They found a way to win the game, and they beat Carolina pretty convincingly. They won 24-6. Defense never gave up a touchdown. They made Sam Darnold. I think they had like 3 picks against Sam Darnold. I might be wrong about that. It might have been more. Correct me if I'm wrong about that, but defense looked absolutely amazing. And this team looks a lot better than they did at the beginning of the season. I think we can get rid of this stupid notion that Brady made Belichick. I'm not going to get into that, but I just know I never believed that, even for a second. So I want to talk about where my optimism is taking me with the Patriots this season. Originally, I was saying if they could get 8 to 9 wins, which I guess technically 8 wins would be below 500, but it'd still be more. It'd still be one more than last year, so it would still be a success. If they could get 8 to 9 wins, I'd be happy with that, even if they didn't make the playoffs. But honestly, guys, with the way they've been playing these past couple of weeks, I could easily see them winning 9 to 10 games and maybe even snatching a wild card playoff spot. And as of right now, they are only a half a game behind Buffalo, but to be honest, I'm not going to say anything crazy like, oh, I expect them to beat Buffalo. I'd be amazed if they were able to beat Buffalo. Buffalo looks like one of the best teams in the league, and I know they lost to Jacksonville, in which they didn't look like themselves. I honestly just think it was an off day. I think they're gonna figure things out, and they're gonna be right back to their winning ways. Again, that's not a shot to New England. I still can see New England snatching a wild card playoff spot, but I guess the question I want to throw to Pats fans out there would be, you guys think I'm crazy to think that they could possibly get a wild card playoff spot? Do I sound a little too optimistic? Do you think the AFC is a little too competitive? Or are you on the same boat as me and you're thinking, hey, you know what? I think they can do it. I think they could probably snatch a wild card spot. Not gonna, if they somehow beat Buffalo again, I would be awfully surprised. But I'm not gonna rule out the possibility. They are playing a lot better now than they were earlier this year, and it shows. Like I said, they were 2-4. Now they're 5-4. They play Cleveland, I believe, this Sunday. Yes, they play Cleveland this Sunday. That's going to be a good game. Cleveland is a better team this year than they have been probably ever, and they are just coming off of kicking Cincinnati's ass. Like, what was the score? Like 41-17 or something like that. It was absolutely insane. So Cleveland should not be underestimated. They are going to be a tough team to beat, but I think New England can do it. I think they can do it. I think they can hang with Cleveland. Cleveland is an interesting team to mention at this point because it actually segues into my next topic. But I want to present the question once again. Do you guys think I'm crazy to think the Pats can make the playoffs this year? Or are we all crazy and we all agree that there is a chance that they can make a wild card spot this year? Again, whatever you think, let me know down below. Alright, so speaking of the Cleveland Browns, they have officially released Odell Beckham Jr. Now, they didn't technically release him in the traditional sense of the word. They actually just put him on the waiver wire. So he has to go through a waiver wire before he can officially enter free agency. And I'm not going to speculate on teams that are going to pick him up because, to be honest, guys, I don't know. I don't have any idea. I can think of a few teams that could use his services. But I kind of want to wheel this back around to my favorite team, the New England Patriots, because I have seen people making predictions that the Patriots are gonna, be the team to claim him. They're gonna sign him, whatever. Um, I'm going to kind of give my opinion on where I stand on that. Now, to be honest, guys, I don't know what his contract is currently looking like, and I don't know if the New England Patriots can afford to take it. So I don't know if they'd be able to claim him off waivers per se. Um, but the question is, do I think the Pats should even make an attempt? Um, to be honest, guys, I go a little back and forth on this. I've seen some people say that it'd be bad for, team chemistry, that he's not good for team chemistry, but here's the thing. New England seems to be one of those places where guys can kind of rehabilitate their careers. We've seen it happen with Randy Moss. Wes Welker I wouldn't say had like a career rehabilitation, but it is nonetheless kind of where his career really took off. It's where he became like the Wes Welker that we would kind of come to know. There's also Antonio Brown, who, if he hadn't screwed up while he was there, um, he probably would have lasted longer and probably would have had a better season with New England. I think. I think he would have done really well. He only had a few catches. I think he had like 4 catches, one of them for a touchdown in the one game that he played for the Pats. Um, so that one didn't work. But for that matter, neither did Albert Haynesworth. So it doesn't always work, but New England, nonetheless, I think is one of the places that I think Odell Beckham Jr. would I think Odell Beckham Jr. would like have a chance to rehabilitate his career a little bit. And like I said, Randy Moss is a decent example. Then there's Wes Welker, who broke out. Um, and look, Odell Beckham Jr. doesn't need to break out. We know what he's capable of. Um, if he's willing to keep the antics to a minimum and follow the Patriot way, yeah, I absolutely would welcome him to New England. I think he would give Mac Jones a pretty decent pair of hands to throw to. Um, I don't think New England is in like dire need of a wideout, but they could use one. Why not? Um, so yeah, from what I gather, they were actually trying to. I guess they were trying to get their hands on Brandon Cooks, but Houston didn't want to trade him. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong on that. I could have swore I saw that somewhere. So it's not like New England doesn't have like a genuine interest. So yes or no? I guess gun to my head, if I were the New England Patriots, would I bring in Odell Beckham Jr.? Yeah, I guess I would. Only because I do think New England is one of the places that he could possibly rehabilitate his career. Um, I think he would be looking. He said he's looking to play on a contender. I don't know if I would quite say New England's a contender, but I would say that they're competing for a playoff spot. So, but if that's not good enough, then I mean, it is what it is. This is one of those things. I think the Pats can kind of take it or leave it. They can wait till the off season to worry about wide receiver. I'd be completely okay with it. Like I mentioned, I did was low key hoping they would go after Brandon Cooks, but they and again, I think they did, but I think if I remember it correctly, Houston didn't want to trade him. But again, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on that one. So my question to you guys on this topic is, where do you think OBJ is going to go? Because more than likely he is going to get claimed off waivers. There is almost no doubt in my mind. Um, so yeah, where do you think OBJ is going to go? Do you think I'm crazy for the Pats? Like, do I think? Do you think I'm crazy because I said the Pats should maybe take an interest? Um, Whatever your thoughts are on this topic, throw them in the comment section below. And we're going to go ahead and move on to the Red Wings. Got a lot to talk about with the Red Wings. So they're looking pretty good so far. Off the top of my head, I don't know what their record is. I'm actually going to go ahead and look that up because I do believe they are doing pretty well for themselves. Yeah, they're 6-5-2, so they got 14 points. I mean, it's a winning record. It's not bad. Honestly, probably better than I would have thought. They've been just bad for these past few years. It's been a little easy to ignore them. But thankfully, I have been able to watch more games. And yeah, from what I have seen, they look pretty good. Dylan Larkin is looking like a real leader. He doesn't allow himself to be pushed around. If you guys remember in the first game against Tampa Bay when he got like pushed into the boards. I forget the guy's first name, but his last name was Joseph. Dylan Larkin turned around and punched him. Got a 1-game suspension, but he got a lot of respect. I mean, that's grit. Giovanni Smith is another guy I really love seeing on the ice for the Wings. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard Ken Cowell last night say that he's the only Red Wing that doesn't have a point. Or I'm sorry, Ken Daniels, not Ken Cowell. Why did I say Ken Cowell? Ken Daniels. I heard Ken Daniels mention last night that he's the only Red Wing. Giovanni Smith is the only Red Wing without a point. Which is, I mean, that sucks. I want Giovanni Smith to get a point, but guy's a tough guy. So I like that too. The Red Wings are showing, a lot of grit and a lot of, pushback. They're not letting teams push them around, shove them around. I think these are necessary components for a good hockey team. I think they are. You gotta, hockey's a physical sport. You gotta be able to push back. And I think the Wings are doing that. I think they're encapsulating that attitude perfectly. You guys have heard the slogan, Detroit versus everybody. Personally, I kind of thought that, got a little carried away. But to be honest, this team kind of embodies that. And I really like it. I like the grittiness. I like the toughness. And, it's all coming together quite nicely. Tyler Bertuzzi is off to a damn good start. Let me look up his points, goals, all that. Kind of sucks that we're not going to have him for some games. Not going to get into that whole thing. Sorry, guys, I was not prepared for this. Okay, so he's got 15 points on the year, 9 goals, 6 assists. This guy is something else. Now, it's not the most points by any stretch of the imagination, but it's still pretty good. It's still a lot. So yeah, Tyler Bertuzzi's off to a good start. Mo Seider, I believe, was the NHL October Rookie of the Month. He and Lucas Raymond, another rookie, also off to a great start. They both actually lead the league. They lead rookies in points. Lucas Raymond has 13, Seider has 10. And Seider actually just got his first goal recently. So, yeah, Mo Seider is already looking like a home run pick. And he is, if you guys remember, he's Steve Yzerman's first draft pick as the Red Wings GM. Lucas Raymond was their first round pick from last year. I'll be honest, I didn't know a lot about the kid. and I heard he was 19. I was kind of blown away. But yeah, like I said, they're both off to a hell of a start. They lead all rookies in points. Uh, the Red Wings look like a team that get a lot of points. It's it's really good. They're off to a good start. They did drop four straight, but as of right now, they seem to have got things back on track. They've won their last two. So yeah, hopefully it's all uphill from here. So here's the question I want to put forth to you guys. Do you think this team is going to continue to be competitive like this, or do you think this is just kind of a sugar high and they're going to kind of go up and down, and the lack of talent, the youth, I guess I shouldn't say a lack of talent, but the youth, do you think the youth is going to kind of catch up to them and they're just not going to be able to persevere and get through? Because let's be honest, no one's expecting them to win a Stanley Cup this year. But and if they can make the playoffs, I would personally be happy with that. But I want to know where you guys are. After these past few years of just watching this team just be really bad, how does it feel? How does it feel to see them doing really good? Like, how do you guys feel about the Red Wings? Whatever you're thinking about them, let me know in the comments section below. And just like that, guys, I have gone through all my topics. And yeah, so anyway, guys, like I said at the beginning of this podcast, I am going to finish Creepypastathon. I am going to finish doing all those videos. Just try to be patient with me. I do apologize. This last Creepypastathon has not been as good as I was hopefully planning. But, it is what it is. I will get it done. I promise that much. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to comment down below everything you think about the topics at hand. Do you agree with most of what I said? Where are your disagreements? Whatever the case, let me know down below. I love to talk to you guys about this stuff, as always. And until next time, I'm Justin Crumley, and this is CuJo Productions, signing out.